The hosts of the In Your Corner show are not professional psychiatrists, therapists, or counselors, nor are they a substitute. Please seek professional care when necessary. The hosts assume no responsibility or liability from the outcomes of the advice given or the views and opinions of its viewers and/or commenters. All information presented during the airing of this show is given as is and is subject to change. Text, images, and other materials are used for educational purposes. All right, we're live.
Hell, yay, liveness.
I have to hit the transition button. Give me like maybe a 10-second. You're good.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll keep that in my next one. It's still, we're ironing out the details.
Hey, we're
right.
getting the rust and the dust off.
Rusty dusty.
Yep.
So I've Serena's already having issues. Nothing tremendous.
It's
just
okay.
really quick.
Breathe and relax. It's
I'm
only our third
breathing.
show. Okay.
If I wasn't, I'd be on the floor. You'd be talking to yourself.
Wouldn't be the first time I'll talk to myself.
Oh well, I don't know how to respond to that. Like I talk to myself too, but still, why? So my issue is that whole window I thought I had open.
Yes.
Oh look, Paper Cat's here. For chatting, I only see our stream twice.
So what do you need?
I need the chat. How do I get access to the chat?
Oh, okay. Go to Twitch, and that's gonna be the In Your Corner show. Go to where it says chat, hit the little cog, and then
I keep doing that, and all it does,
it opens up a new window.
It opens up a new video.
No, it's supposed to open a new window when you pop it out of chat.
Well, I can't help what it wants to do.
We just tested this 5 seconds ago. Anyway.
I know, but we weren't live, so that's the
That's
kicker.
true. That is true.
Oh, well, we'll figure this out. If anything, you're monitoring tonight.
Yep, I got chat covered.
Cool. So, hi, I'm Serena. That over there is Orim.
That?
Say hello.
That over there is Orim? I don't know if it's an upgrade or a downgrade to a that. I'll take they, them. I've been happy with they, them.
Yeah, I'm not. There, right there with the glasses. That's not red-haired. That'd be. Oh, look, I found the chat. How do I get it out? Shut up.
Lube. Hi, I'm Orim. I'm the technical side. She's the brain side of this.
Which really says something if I'm the brains.
I mean, it says something if I'm the technical.
Yeah, that you're technical?
Technically.
Are you technically technical?
Well, yeah.
On a technicality.
What are we talking about today, Serena?
Oh, well, first, welcome to the In Your Corner show.
Yes.
Like, I went way out of order with that.
Hey, as long as it's entertaining, it's all that matters.
Here's hoping.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, I just see Paper Cat's name floating to her, and it was weird for a moment.
Yeah, I've upgraded the teleporters and a few fiddled with a few other odds and ends, so.
Got it. So yeah, welcome to the In Your Corner show. Serena, Orim, we said hi already, but tonight we're going to talk about depression. However, I was going to suggest to Orim's, maybe we just, chat for a few moments and see if we can get anybody else to join our channel tonight.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, we'll take a couple of minutes, just sit back, relax. So what you been up to, Selena? It's been 2 weeks since we've last, well, no, about a week if you count the Sunday. Some 7 odd days. What's been new in your neck of the woods?
Well, I already had this plan because I thought it was funny, so bear with it if the joke isn't. But I'm in between birthdays right now.
I mean, you just had one and you're waiting for your next one, so that's, 100% of the entire world. Or 99.9. There are some people out there that are enjoying their birthday right now.
Fair enough, but not what I meant. But I like the way that you're thinking.
All right, so explain.
Yesterday was my birthday and tomorrow's my son's, so I'm in between birthdays. Get it? Sorry, it was better in my head, I'm sure.
It's all good. My birthday's done past. It was up in January, so.
Yes.
But yeah, so let's see here.
But outside of that, nothing too much new.
Pretty much same here. Been fiddling and working with so much stuff, like getting this show off the ground and whatnot has been a massive learning of just how everything functions and all the other fun stuff, and just so many skills. I've realized I'm becoming more of a manager than an actual streamer. So if anyone needs a streaming manager out there, we could just work out some monies. I mean, you could timeshare, right, Serena, with me?
Sure. Goods
Lend
and
the Orim
services.
out.
Oh, we already have a custody arrangement for you, so
Well, that's for gaming, but that's another matter.
which is funny because I got you 2 nights in a row. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but this ain't gaming though.
I know, but
Okay,
but it, but I'm just saying.
I know, I know. All right. So, what topic are we going to be discussing tonight?
The question, which Orem, if you'd like to go and put on the first
The first
numero
slide.
uno, that one. I couldn't think of the
Sure.
word slide
It's all right.
because he
Let me. Yep, it's already on there. Good. I don't even have to transition, but we could do a close up of that. There we go. This way it's nice and big for everybody.
good. Oh, look at that! It looks so nice.
I know. It's like if I
So
know what I'm doing or something.
he's so good. See, if you want a manager, he's your man. Sure.
All right.
All right. So we're
So,
gonna cover the topic of depression.
hmm?
Orem, while that is up, why don't you give us a definition of what depression is?
Oh, we haven't done this in a while. Orm's definition. So, according to the American Psychiatric Association, depression is a common to serious medical illness that imparts or impacts, the way a person feels, thinks, and acts. It is a treatable affliction, but left untreated can develop into a more serious emotional and physiological problem that can decrease an individual's ability to function with daily tasks.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I think
I'm sorry, I thought I read that decently enough.
you did very well actually, but I feel like breaking it up. It's almost condescending. It's not meant to be though. It was like, yay. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it's all good.
So yes, where I was going with that, but then realize it either way. We're gonna move on rapidly, as Orem would say.
Okay.
Have you or have you experienced or know someone who experiences depression?
I honestly personally believe everyone experiences it. It's just a matter of the severity of it and how it does. Like, I know personally, I've done the whole, something didn't go my way and I'm kind of miffed. And I would say maybe that's just like slightly depressed. Like, oh, I was planning to go out over the weekend in bad weather. And like, oh, yeah, kind of deal. And then I've gotten to
Okay.
the severe depression parts where like nothing, like none of my normal hobbies or my normal fun things I like to do was, we call it working. Like we call it, I wouldn't like I'd look at Steam and all my games. I'm like, no, I don't want to play this. Or it's like I felt like I was depriving myself of the things I like and enjoy because I either didn't
Yeah.
think it was worth it or I didn't think it was going to bring me the fun to combat this depression.
Which makes sense. It makes very, very good sense. And how long did you happen to have that stint of happenings, if you will?
Good question. Silly phone. Let's see here. Honestly, it depended on like what was my trigger and how I dealt with it. Sometimes it'll be a week. I think the longest I had was like a month long depression, and it got in the beginning was kind of just like slowly going down, had sinkhole feeling, and this you're swirling around, getting deeper and
Yeah.
deeper, and then it took like you, the significant other, and a whole bunch of other people to kind of pull me out of that funk.
Okay. And I absolutely love the fact that you had these two examples because you are 100% correct.
Woohoo!
There are two types of depression. And let's be honest, everyone at some point is going to go through, even if it's the smallest 1 day feeling of depression,
Right.
because that's normal. It's normal occasions, it's usually when you're feeling really disheartened over something or, something sad happens, anything of that magnitude. So yeah, you have that one. However, theoretically speaking, and we'll go into that here in a moment,
Mm-hmm.
if it lasts longer than 2 weeks, then it becomes what's known as clinical or major depressive disorder. But there are a range of it, and we'll start to talk more about that later. But
Okay.
you can go actually into a clinical depression, but not have it to where you need like intervention necessarily.
So
Does
you're
that make sense?
talking about like where it's severe enough, but you don't have to have like a medical psychiatrist or prescriptions or stuff of that nature to intervene before it gets worse and worse.
Correct. Exactly. It's 100% what I mean. Really quick, if you'd
Woohoo!
like to take a moment and switch slides.
Oh yeah, sure, I can
Slides?
do
Yeah.
that. Let's see here. Boop, boop. Huzzah!
Thank
And I
you.
can zoom in on that too. Boop. It's like high school over again when I was in AV club, and it was like, next slide, please. Click.
There you go. See, management with experience. You hear that, everyone?
All right, I'm gonna have to ask later. What's your cut of the rates that we're gonna do? Because you're pimping me out hard.
Fair enough. We'll talk about that.
All
So
right.
we're gonna cover this real quick, and it's gonna go and talk about what causes depression or where what can bring about it.
Okay.
And then Orem, if I'm talking too much or you have something to
Oh
pipe
no,
in, just interrupt me because I'm just gonna go for all of this at once.
you're good. I will chip in when needed. I will play with the.
Keep
Um.
my image on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I figured you're talking. You want a close up of you, but okay.
We could,
I'll
we'll
bounce
figure
back and
that out
forth.
later. Okay, because I'm also using it.
Oh, you have the
Yeah,
original images you sent me.
but you see my screen, it's filled. I don't have a dual monitor.
You hear that, everyone? Let's start working on a GoFundMe or some other thing to get her a better computer because you're on a laptop right now, aren't you?
I am, and my laptop is pretty kick-ass, to be quite honest with you.
Just
It's
doesn't have a
just
second
smaller.
screen.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But
Okay.
anyway, so let's go through the causes. So genetics. When you have a genetic, it's basically a genetic disposition to depression. Usually, it's when you have a family member, whether it's a sibling, parent, grandparent who is prone to depression, you have a higher probability of getting depression.
Okay.
Um, if you've had depression in the past, or no, sorry, that's something else. That's not genetics. Genetics is that when you have a family member, especially immediate family member who has depression, you go up a percentage in the likelihood it is for you to develop
So you're
depression.
just basically more disposed. Now, does it do the same thing
Mhm.
like other genetic things where it'll skip generations, or is it just kind of very
Mm.
linear?
So, to be quite honest, you'll find out when we start talking about more topics, there's still a lot of mental health issues, and there you go. And sorry, mental health issues and conditions that sometimes the causes aren't fully understood. I mean, take really quick for a side tangent, take BPD. That's something that I have, and they don't know 100% what causes. They see a genetic factor, but it's not continuous amongst all people with BPD. So you can't say with beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's it.
Okay. But
They
what
have,
is BPD to begin with?
that would help, and thank you, Orm, for asking. So
It's all right.
BPD is an acronym for borderline personality disorder, and as it states, it's a personality disorder. And one of the biggest things with it, as you go to depression, because I'm talking about BPD, that's confusing.
I'm bouncing
um,
back and forth. You wanted it on screen, but I'm like, when you're chatting, just yeah.
we'll figure this out. We're ironing out the details, remember? But anyway, so with the BPD, the other aspect is that they believe that one of the causalities of it, need more irons. Yeah, we do. Um, is due to living in a very stressful environment for elongated periods of time.
Okay, so it's sort of like the brain compartmentalizing stressors into different sections to better deal with it, and each section starts to develop its own type of personality.
No, that is a different disorder, schizophrenia, or not schizophrenia, that's the wrong word. Uh, what a dissociation disorder, which
Okay.
was formerly known as multiple personality disorder.
Okay, yeah, because I remember multiple personality, but I have not been keeping up with a lot of this. So that's why I lean more heavily to you, and I kind of like to take the whole layman approach of like, well, what about this kind of thing? And
Which
then
is
you let
perfect.
me know. I know exactly. That's the whole dynamic. I do it for a
There we
reason.
go. It's magic. But yeah, so that one, when you're department compartmental, when you're putting it into
Department.
the back burner, that word, and you're using it as a coping mechanism and kind of sticking into what personality fits in that one. That's more of identity disassociation identity disorder or whatever heck I just called it before,
Gotcha.
formerly known as multiple personality.
Okay. So there's
So
that
back to
part.
causes.
Yes.
Perfect. So genetics, like I said, plays a factor into the depression. So
Hmm.
does brain chemistry imbalances. So there are two, there's more than two, but the top two that is related to depression consist of dopamine and serotonin.
The happy brain
And when the,
chemicals.
yes, actually, well, see, dopamine is because there's
Isn't
a
serotonin as
phrase,
well?
I want to say yes, but for the life of me, I'm spacing on it. So I don't want to be wrong.
No, I'm more sure dopamine and serotonin are like the happy brain chemicals, and everyone's like, well, that I've seen on gaming and what, like, they're chasing that dopamine, they're chasing that serotonin, and they want to be the big smile happiness.
So chasing the dopamine is a phrase I've heard too, which is the happy one. So I don't know if serotonin and I hate this. Like I should Google it, but I'm afraid to touch anything because of the way the format is right now.
You're
So
good.
Orem, if
Looking it
you
up now.
could, beautiful. So I think serotonin is related to happiness, but I think it's like almost an equalizer because if you have too much of one, you can develop things that look like depression. If you have both of them being too little, like that's the grr. I
Serotonin
wasn't
is a
prepared
chemical
for this
that has
one.
several important jobs in the body. It is a natural mood stabilizer that controls well-being and
Oh,
happiness. Not having
score!
enough serotonin is thought to contribute to depression. Okay, so it's a stabilizer. Okay.
I'm so happy right now. You have no clue. Thank
Yeah,
you, education. You're proving you're doing something.
I know, right? I've been freaking. I typed it a couple of times. Like, my spelling's not the best, so I kind of typed like a sedation. I'm like, okay, cool. Bonus points for a big word, but it's not the word I'm looking for.
I actually downloaded a document, or not document, an app that gives me definitions every single day in words.
Ooh.
And I was frustrated because in the beginning, like the first 10 of them I already knew. So I'm like, oh, this is useless. And then it got really fancy on me. I'm like, dang, okay, I misjudged this.
We'll put that probably in our recall text thingy later on. This way we can share with everyone else.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so back to causes. So when your brain chemical or brain chemistry is out of balance, such as those two, it can create a chemical causality to feeling low and depressed. Because again, as we just said, we have dopamine, which is your feel good drug, or not drug, your feel
Well,
good
it's a brain chemical.
hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and if that's depleted or low for whatever reason, you could start feeling really depressed and not want to do anything. If your serotonin is off balance, you can also have extremes and still end with the same result.
So it's not balance you out. Now, would the genetics play into that as well, where like your brain
Of course.
chemistry is not, oh, of course, not set up properly,
Well,
so it's in the imbalance.
correct. I mean, if you think about it this way, our brain chemistry is kind of already determined without, to an extent, of course, not taking environmental factors into
Okay.
consideration. Our brain chemistry and what our brain's going to do is already kind of decided before we're born.
I mean, it's at birth, your brain chemistry is set, and it's just like you said, outside factors will fluctuate it. For the most
Yep.
part, your brain is wired the way it's wired. That's why
Yes.
people are so diverse, and I love that.
Which, oh my gosh. Okay, can I nerd out for a few moments?
This is half your show, so nerd out for half the time.
Duly noted. So I actually had came across this interesting find when I was doing research for one of my classes. And it was for lifespan and development, which I see that, which goes for lifespan and development, that, the from birth to death and all the changes and factors, and of course, psychological approach to it. But one of the ones we had to do was what happens, like what conditions can be affected in the fetus while the mother is pregnant.
Okay.
And one of the things that we found out, and this goes to show like a biological slash chemistry concept into predetermined.
Okay.
Studies are starting to show that women who experience depression during their pregnancy, and I don't remember if there's a specific term that's more so than others, but during their pregnancy, um, if they were depressed, their child later in life had a higher probability of having depression too. And what they found from all of these different
Studies.
thank you,
You're welcome.
is that when we're depressed, we also set off a whole bunch of other hormones like cortisol
Okay.
and all these other ones that not only influences our mood, but it influences our heart rate, it influences our blood pressure. And when all of that is being influenced while you're pregnant, and the cortisone that you're excreting in high states of depression or stress, which can again cause depression, kind of passes to the fetus.
I was about to say, because even though it's brain chemicals, air quotes, it does go through the
Mhm.
bloodstream, and that's, to the fetus, it's, linked. So they would be
Yep.
getting the same chemicals as well. That's why, like,
Yep.
don't drink, don't smoke, don't do all that stuff,
Exactly.
because it goes right to the fetus as well.
Correct. It's 100% correct. And I also I know the science behind part, not all of it, of the smoking one, but that's another time.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's gonna
yeah,
be
no,
another
it's
topic.
100%. 100% true. So, and I thought that was interesting, and it's relevant to what we're talking about tonight because, chemistry, all that other stuff. Right.
One of my second or
So,
third favorite topics in high school.
chemistry?
Yeah, I enjoy chemistry.
Sure.
I Math was my first, then it was gym, then chemistry.
Huh. Math was my first too for regular school, not college.
High school?
Um, well, middle school too.
Okay.
So I was
For
trying to
us
including that.
US based people, I think it's like primary school in the UK.
I believe so.
Okay.
So mine was math, science. What was the third one? English. And then as I gotten older, English took the spot. When I hit college, math became ridiculous. So that was no longer, it's not even on my list anymore.
Fair enough.
All right. So other causes for depression, we have poor nutrition.
Okay.
Hey, or want to take a stab at why?
Well, I know I have horrible eating habits, so yeah, let's
Mhm.
try that. Again, it goes back to the whole chemistry thing. Your body ain't getting the stuff it needs. If your body's
Mhm.
not feeling happy, you're not going to feel happy. So you start sliding down that depression slide, if you will.
Correct. And not to, and so for this comes from, by the way, our picture today comes from Very Well Mind. They are a wonderful educational website. I used it a lot. It is peer reviewed by professionals in the field. But anyway, I do take a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Concern with that being under the causes. Now, you have a good point. If you're, oh, thank you.
Yep, I figured it'd
Um,
be on point.
if you're consuming poorly, whether you either don't have access to food or you're not making good choices, your body does take a toll, and over time it can create maybe chemical imbalances, and I can see that aspect.
Right.
But the problem that I have with it, and it's not necessarily Very Well Mind's issue, is that one of the symptoms, which we'll get here in a moment too, also states that your eating habits are affected by depression. So it's always hard to see, it's the egg before the hen or chicken
Ah,
concept.
oh, I've done plenty of depression eating. Like because I work at a retail supermarket, and whenever I'm depressed, I come home with at least a bag of just junk food that I know I shouldn't be eating. Watching my
Yeah,
weight, watching my sugar and carb intake, and all that stuff, trying to be healthier. But then I just want to shove like a full box of Hostess donuts down my gullet, and it's just like I know that I shouldn't be doing this, and it's honestly not doing much for my general benefit. It's just my brain's going, "You're depressed. You want this."
it feels good because it's probably
Sometimes.
supplying you some level of dopamine.
Yeah, that's true. But the weird thing is, though, when you don't get that dopamine when you do that act.
Yeah. And I think again, so there's a mental difference that is going into it. It is breakfast time. I'm hungry. I need to eat so I can get to work. So
Right.
your focus isn't on this is going to make me feel good. Your focus is on I need this to get by.
Yeah, I've done that
And
quite a few times as well. Just I have to shove calories down in face before work because I won't be able to do otherwise.
exactly. So versus when you're doing like emotional eating, which is tied into the depression concept that you just provided, when you get into that emotional eating, your focus is on not only what you're eating, but why you're wanting to eat it.
Hmm.
It,
Okay.
it makes you feel better. So that's why they technically have their own little like separation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I know
So
you're
that's
waiting.
why yeah, so that's why I'm a little like iffy with that one being
The
included.
horse
It's
before the
just,
cart, egg before the chicken
yeah,
kind of thing. That makes, I mean,
yep.
in all fairness, they have to report it because it's part of it. It's just, what your stance on which comes first.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that aspect. The next one is physical health issues. So this is a two-folded one. If you have had experience with depression in the past, you are more likely to have a reoccurrence, like a higher probability of having a reoccurrence later in life versus someone who's really never experienced it yet.
And we're
Again,
talking about just not just being just slightly unhappy. We're talking about like medium to the deeper side of it?
No, actually, because how many times have you had just a month of feeling like crap?
Not often.
But
It's been a
but it
long while.
happened,
Knock
right?
on wood. It's happened. Yeah. I mean, knock on wood. I'm not knocking too hard. I don't want to, ding the camera. No, microphone. But yeah, it's been a very long time. I'm happy for that, by the way.
But you've had more than one,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Had a
that's the point.
uh once you have the one, you're more predisposed to have the set more for them. Yeah, words.
Exactly. So another way I like to think of it, if any, if you're familiar with the concept of seizures, or thresholds in general, like you can also apply it to addiction, or habit creating, or not creating, sorry, elimination. So the further you get from the point of doing it, the harder it theoretically becomes to abstain from doing it.
So how
It's
like
called
they
a
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, ask your question.
I was about to say, so sort of similar to like when you say smokers, like it's better to not immerse yourself or surround yourself with stuff that's will remind you of it. So sort of like out of sight, out of mind. So the longer you go
Yes.
without it, the better it is for you not to go back into that hole.
Yes, but at the same token, depending upon like what can trigger it, that trigger becomes a little bit more
Less effective.
enticing. No, enticing.
Oh, enticing. Okay, so the reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's a threshold. So in the concept of seizures is the further you get away from having your last seizure, the higher the likelihood of having another one is going to be.
Okay,
Especially if yeah. And for clarifications, this is not just any seizures. These are ones who have like epileptic or epilepsy and things of that nature because there are once and done seizures in life too.
huh?
Um yeah. Again, that could be another topic one day. But or like an addict. You have an addict whether they're addicted to cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, no
Video
matter
games.
what. Video games, sex, porn, the whole shebang.
Whoa, calm down there.
Not intended. But it's true.
I agree with you.
When you have that addiction, the when you stop it, the enticingness to it becomes harder to fight or gives you oh dang it. So not that it becomes harder to fight, but the enticingness, the temptation becomes stronger. Now, don't get me wrong, most people still fight it. That's why with addictive personalities that are prone to develop addictions, they tend to go from one to another because it's their personality and it's hard to keep at it, or they relapse, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also under physical conditions and or physical conditions or or health issues. My God, I can't talk.
It's all right.
Um, is certain diseases or like, and again, when they're saying physical, they're meaning like not mental. So, for example, people with Parkinson's disease. Um, hold on, I think I just crossed over to a different topic there.
Hmm. Well, I'm guessing that again it goes into the whole bad mindset, bad feeling. Like if you're physically not well or you have a condition that's interfering with your life, it's gonna make you more into the depression part because you're unhappy with the situation you're in.
Yes, thank you. That is 100% of what I was trying to explain, but there is another component to it as well. Some physical health issues actually causes imbalances, thus that provides you with the depression. So it's not like true depression where it's just a chemical imbalance by itself. It has a physical or a different aspect causing it.
Okay, then.
I could do it. I could do it. The next one is drugs. Um, and which actually also ties into the DSM-5 diagnosing criteria is
DSM
that
5 is
oh, what is the acronym for that? Diagnostic Statistical Manual DSM 5th edition. And that is hopefully not stated wrong, but that is the pamphlet, not pamphlet, it's freaking huge. The
yeah.
book that psychologists use to diagnose mental health issues.
Okay, I know the nerd in me when you said fifth edition went straight to Dungeons and Dragons, so forgive me, but
No, you're
sorry,
good.
a little
D&D.
levity here and there. But okay, so but yeah, that goes into the whole chemical thing as well, where the drugs are
Hi,
trying to.
Twilight.
Ooh, hello. That goes into the whole chemical balancing and act, and again too, because I know people that take we call it medication for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know they have to. I wouldn't say constantly, but every so often readjust and re-update their medication because your body gets used to it and it doesn't affect as much, or something else
So that is
happens.
something different. So that
Oh,
though that is true to what it is, it applies to a different domain.
okay. So different. Okay, so then all right, because that was my guess on the drugs. So because there's the stabilizers, the uppers, and the downers to help mellow or adjust as needed.
Hmm. So when this is referring to drugs, and again, it's also tied into the DSM-5 as I was mentioning before, it states that your depression cannot be caused by illicit, unprescribed, or other types of drugs of that nature. Um, because generally speaking, on average, your doctor is not going to prescribe you something that is going to make you worse, or at least they're not going to keep you on it. And
Theoretically,
I said,
on average, fair
yeah.
enough, fair enough.
um, but if you're taking someone else's prescription medication, that's not, you
Oh
know,
yeah, that's a big no-no.
illicit drugs, illegal drugs, whatever you want to call them, all of those are the ones that can cause, depending upon what it is, depression. Again, messing with your chemical or chemistry, messing with your just moods in general. So one of the things in the DSM-5 states that your cause for this extent of depression cannot be tied to drugs in that facility or in that facet. And
Gotcha.
again, there are other drugs like you were talking about that can cause depression. And I want to say Parkinson's disease, medication specifically for that has been known to cause depression. But my problem is I'm not sure if I'm tying that into bipolar by mistake.
Possibly. I do know like a lot of the warning labels because when they do the clinical trials and all that fun stuff, because I do the retail pharmacy thing, so I see this stuff on the daily. If
Yeah.
we call it, if someone farts, and it was bad, they have to put it down because it's a possibility, air quotes, that it's something like that. So it's not a catch-all kind of thing. It's just something to be aware of. So a lot of times, medication, and they also I know the pharmacists say don't do this while on these medications because it will affect
Hmm.
stuff. So it will alter all that stuff.
Yep. And again, so that's more of a or it can be more of the biological or biochemistry concept.
Right.
And what you'll get is so you have people who take it for a while and they become immune to it. And basically it's that the body now takes that medicine and views it as with it's regular. Like it no longer produces its own stuff usually in those
It's leading
cases.
on that as a crutch almost. Well, I guess crutch
Correct.
wouldn't be the correct word, but I know what you mean. Like the body thinks this is now the new norm.
Yes. And so it's no longer doing what it's doing because now it's its new norm and it's now the pain is coming up or whatever it could be.
Yeah,
And so that's why there's adjusting. There's an actual term, but that goes back to my biology days, and I can't think of that right now of when that happens.
it's all
But
good.
it goes into the term is close to like the threshold that we were talking about before that concept.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there's the one of the causes of depression can be the fact that you're taking drugs that, your body doesn't want you to take, so it's having a depressive response to it, or some prescription drugs can also cause depression.
Hmm.
And then the last one on this list is stress.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think I know anyone that's not been stressed. If you have it, you're a lucky SOB.
A jelly.
Yeah, right. Being playful about it too. I mean, again, too. In all fairness, we
Of
do want to
course.
make sure that we stress that we stress. Nice. We stress, but no, I want to
We
make sure
stress
that
that you don't stress.
well, the fact is, like, we come at this as a playful side as well because it is a serious
Yeah.
overtone. We don't want to kind of like hammer it into you. We kind of want to make it where, yes, we're giving you information, but it's also relax, well, I wouldn't say carefree, but, chill kind of thing. So, feel free to talk and express selves, all that fun stuff. So that's why we're
Yes.
not trying to be dismissive. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
No, but I always feel on a personal note, and I'm pretty sure Orm agrees with me if we haven't already talked about it, but that when you bring humor classfully or
Tastefully.
tastefully,
There
that's
we go.
thank you, tastefully to it, it's appreciated and it can kind of lighten the mood in a non-harmful way.
Yeah, exactly.
Taste the humor.
I try.
It's like now,
So back to
depending upon the
stress.
topic. Sorry. So so stress in itself, fun fact, because I'm a nerd apparently now. Stress is starting to uptake in making like the top 10 leading causes of death because stress causes so much havoc on your body. Again, we were talking about that earlier, like cortisone or
Hmm.
cortisol hormones, of shortening life expectancy. But stress is stressful. And with that comes a lot of tolls to the body, and depression is one of them.
Hmm.
You know, if you're constantly feeling, what's another freaking word for stress?
When you're feeling pressure, when you're feeling
Overwhelmed.
overwhelmed, when you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, when you feel like everything is against you. Just, I mean, yes, we're talking about, depression, and stress is a big of it, and I know personally for myself, stress is a big part of my life. I know, Serena, we've chatted about how much stress has influenced your life as well, and it does affect and
Hmm.
toll on the body. It makes you feel tired, it makes you feel irritable. It just, the way I like to put it with my significant other, it makes me prickly, thinking like a cactus. Like, all my quills are pointed out. I want everyone in the world to stay away from me. I don't want to hug. I don't want to be touched. Just, I'm on super defensive mode because I am so stressed. Like, the slightest thing will set me off.
Yep. And again, over time can lead into depression because you're in a low state. When you're in that low state, your body will start adapting its chemistry. And thus you could be having the dopamine, serotonin going out of whack, and leading that stress can immediately lead into depression.
Exactly.
And Orm, when you're ready, we can move on to the next slide.
Boop, boop. And that one was a little fun to deal with. So there's that. Oh, I need to take that part off.
So, for our wonderful listeners out there, if you have anything you would like to share while we're going over this topic, we would
Perfect.
love to hear it.
Yeah. So if you have any stories about, being stressed, if your depression, or what gets you out of your depression, definitely share with us as well.
That'd be
Because
great. Yeah.
I could use a few new methods myself. Because I know my de-stressors and my way to get myself out of depression would be like video games. I always joked like I try to play like the violent video games, like, these are the people that made me mad, and blow their head up and whatnot. Surprisingly enough, it's more to the management games, whereas like I'm playing a stressful game, but for some reason it's fun to me.
Because it's controlled stress. You're controlling it. You're choosing it.
That is true. Yes.
That's why I like it. Plates up, man.
Not sponsored, but oh boy, I would love to be sponsored.
Oh, I know. That'd be amazing.
Okay.
So we're going to go over the symptoms, or not the symptoms. This is more, well, yeah, symptoms, because I got this.
Yes.
We're going to go over the symptoms of depression. And to begin with, as you could read up there, it talks about a range. And we touched on that a little bit before. So I say this with about 95% accuracy. Most mental health issues, from depression all the way to like autism, has a range concept, low end to high end. And depending upon where you sit on that depends upon how much of something you express or how much it affects you on a day-to-day basis.
Sort of like the
So
pain scale in doctor's offices from like 0 to 10 of like what rate your pain.
basically, yeah. So it's like, let's rate your severity. But yeah, same concept.
Yeah.
And that's again going back to your previous story, Orem. Um, what you experienced would be considered on the low scale because not only did it only last about a month, it's not a commonality. It doesn't. It makes you feel like crap, but
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't stop you from going to work
Oh, it
and things
doesn't.
of that
Yeah.
nature.
I mean, it made me hate doing all that stuff, but it didn't like
Yeah.
physically prevent me. So even though it was like a long time. Oh, okay. Well, I say a long time. I say a month. To me, it felt like a long time. So it would still be on the lower end of the scale.
Um, it can be. So one of the things, and we'll definitely talk about that here in a few, is what is the criteria for it.
Ah.
So in order to, if you have, and we'll go over the symptoms, do we actually have that on this list? We do not have this on this list. So I have to pull up my other list here in a moment. But we'll
Hmm.
go over the actual DSM-5 criteria because I think that'd be kind of fun to do. Because I'm a
Nerd.
nerd.
I
Exactly.
mean it playfully.
Um, I know I take pride in it right now, so thumbs up. But we'll bring it up. And it'll tell you how many, because I think of the symptoms list, you have, in order to be on the low end, it has to be 5 as well as it can't significantly impact your day to day. Like marginally, that's, that's that, people who have depression at some point in their life will kind of just work through it on their own. So you would be on the mild side.
Okay, that makes sense. That's not physically stopping me from my job. It's not stopping me from eating. It's not becoming a detriment to my health or well-being.
So actually, it's not just stopping from eating, it's also overeating.
Oh, okay.
It's one or the other. And the DSM-5 goes into a little bit more details. I think there has to be a 5%, and again, we'll double check that here in a moment. A 5% change in a weight of either increase or decrease during these episodes.
Okay. All right. So some of the symptoms I'm reading off this list. Let me pull that back up on the screen here. So, boop. Let's see here. I'm gonna go off your paperwork as well.
Go for
Feeling
it.
sad or depressed, loss of motivation, drive, desire to continue forward.
Mhm.
Finding it hard to enjoy things that once brought you joy. And I know that's, even though I've not had the month-long thing again, I still get bouts every so often, like a day or so, where of that stuff. Like I'll sit on my computer, look at this, and it's not even choice paralysis because I have way too many games to do with. I'm just like,
Yeah.
just no, no. Oh, I like this. No, no, I don't. And just I know, like in my brain, the logical versus the illogical side, if you will. My
Okay.
logical side is like, these things bring you fun and happiness. Play them. The illogical side is like, we're depressed. We deserve to be depressed. Shut up and just sit there and just stare at them. And the logical side cannot, for the life of me, outbeat them. The illogical side, even though I'm a very logical being, like Serena can tell you so
Emotions are
often,
a
like,
bitch.
I know, right?
Sorry.
No, no, you're good. It's just like I am like super logical to the point of almost being robotic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Robotic, anal
yeah,
retentive.
anal retentive, sometimes seen as cold-hearted or unempathetic.
Yeah.
I like how my avatar just kind of just slowly turned its head to you because I was just looking at the OBS for a second.
Do you agree with me, Serena?
I do, no, I do agree with you. I know the avatar agrees with you as well. But I mean, I do have a feeling side to me. It's something I've just, the way I grew up is just like, it doesn't come to the forefront. It's more my brain is logic. That's why I love management games and stuff like that. It's like, how do I make this super efficient? Okay, perfect. How do I make it more efficient?
Come join us on a future show where I crash all of his coping mechanisms on
You
why he
know,
believes this.
that would be amazing. That'd be fun to do in a
You
weird
get
sort of way.
mad at me.
I get mad when I get the prompted, hey, we're gonna do we call it a study. I'm like, give me a forewarning beforehand.
Fair enough.
All right, so going on
More.
to the next symptoms: irregular sleeping, either too much or too little. Feeling guilty, worthless, or unimportant, excuse me, which I tied into the whole we call it the joy thing.
Yep.
Feeling drained, fatigue, or just general loss of energy, and that goes with the stress as well. If you stress, your body feels more tired because it's going through more physical stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Even though
and
you're not physically doing something.
yeah, it's the weird thing of like mental fatigue can make you tired.
Yes, sir.
Is the increased aimless movement or perceived need to move without purpose, restlessness, pacing, writing. Okay, inability to sit still, or the
I'm
opposite
sorry.
being. Go ahead.
Finish that, but don't continue to the next one if you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Or
you,
the
sir.
opposite, slowed movement and speech. Take the floor.
So I'm breaking up my notes now because I was going to do it and I forgot. So I'm going to do it now. But there's a word for that I didn't know of until I did research on it, like, more specifically. And hold on, I got to find it because I feel like if I don't read it, it's going to just sound really bad. So one second while I look for it.
So I got
Um,
interrupted to be told to wait for a second.
apparently I thought you'd read a little slow.
Have I ever read slowly?
Not really, unless you can't say the word.
Fair enough, I guess.
Why can't I find this?
I don't know. Why can't you?
I think because there's too much pressure.
Okay, so while Serena takes a hot minute, I'm actually going to test something here. So
Yes.
let's see here. Let's see. There we go. Let's see if this works now. All right. So while Serena's looking at that, let's do a little gambling. Place your bets on the roulette table. You've got 20 seconds. It's exclamation point bet, amount, and then red, black, number, first 20, all that other fun stuff. I might give it a better
Okay.
timer that we call it in 20 seconds, depending on how fast people can type. Oh, there it goes.
Because I'm slow at that.
Okay, mental note. I'll update that timer and give it like maybe a minute. But I can hear the sound. It seems to be working. At least I hear it. I don't know.
Yay!
Don't know if anyone else heard it.
Well, I don't think you can hear it last time either, could you?
Ooh, I got 40. No, what my silliness was, I had the
Goodness.
audio, the video, but not the audio plugged in.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember you were telling me that, but I couldn't remember if you heard it last time or not.
So yeah, so just fiddling around with the stream avatars. Did you find what you're looking for, by the way?
Of course not. But we're just keep going in it. I will wait, did I just find it?
Uh, so anyway, I've got it where the roulette's done by mods only. But if you want to do slots, you can do that by yourself every 5 minutes, people. So earn some more of those treats. Deck out your avatars and have fun with them.
How do you do it? Like, how do you do it on your own?
So in chat, it's exclamation point and then the command. So it's slots and then your bet amount. And the roulette the admins have to do it. It's exclamation point bet currency and then what you're betting on.
Okay. Next time I'll try to do it. All right. And I also found it real quick if I can take
Yeah,
back
go
over.
for it. Go take on ahead. I was just killing time while you were looking.
So, and honestly, one of the things that I thought was interesting because it made me think of you,
Oh boy.
but it's called psychomotor agitation. And that's like the aimlessly moving. It's considered when you're pacing, rocking, or tapping. And what do you do when you're on the phone?
I make laps around the entire apartment.
Hmm. And then just because, keeping the scientific words alive, the other one where your thinking or moving is slowed down is considered psychomotor retardation.
Okay. I know a lot of people don't like that word just because of the negative connotation on it, but like fire retarded and whatnot. So
Scientific love, all it means
I
is
know.
that it cannot well, I wasn't referring.
Oh, generalize. Yes, you were
It's
good. Don't mind me.
all good. It's all good. All right. So, what else is on our list? I think we have two more.
Okay, give me just a second here because that thing I told you earlier that I thought I worked on wasn't working. So I'm just going to do this manually. All right,
Oh.
so next on the list was, let's see here, decreased ability to think, concentrate, or make decisions. And then the
Okay.
thoughts of ending function of one's life, because certain words you can't say online.
Duly noted. Probably should have went over that beforehand because I would have.
It's all good.
Yeah. Those are your 7 symptoms, which I think I also have one more slide that talks about the symptoms if we can text or test that real quick,
Yeah,
Orm.
sure. That would be the next one. Depression. There we go. And we can make it big as well. Boop. Depression
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
symptoms.
Awesome. So if you could leave it up there just for a few more
Oh yeah, I plan to.
seconds. Awesome. Thank you. So I just want to kind of go a little bit in the detailing of what you just read. So those are your 7 symptoms. There are 4 more, I'm sorry, criteria-based things that are found in the DSM-5 in addition to those, and that also impacts, the level of or the range of depression and the level of how it affects your life. But what would I wanted to point out it was the range. So here we go. To to be considered to have mild symptoms, it's 5 of those 7. Moderate is 6 to 7 of those symptoms, and then severe also incorporates the 4 that's on the other list.
Okay.
And really quick, because I hate not knowing things, so I'm going to share with everyone. The other 4 that you'd find on the DSM-5 states that and this is also, or I'm sorry, what I was referring to before and why uh, how to determine the things that you were going through. Sorry, my
Okay.
mind just went.
It's okay. We're getting good through the rust and dust, so I think we're doing good so far.
So one of the first ones that continues on is symptoms must clinically impact work, important life functions, and or social interactions significantly.
Okay.
So again, like we said, that's when you can't get up to go to work. You
Avoid
and
interaction with other people.
yeah. Ow, I just smacked myself in the head. The next one is not related to substance use or medical conditions. Like, we talked about that before. Third is not related to other disorders like delusion disorders or other psychotic disorders.
Okay.
And the last one is no previous history of mania or manic, sorry. And a manic means extreme highs and moods, feeling very over or very energetic, and a lots of like that unnecessary movement or just movement in general, psychomotor, or hypomanic, which is a less severe one of that. So you have a similar feelings. It's just not as intense as manic.
Okay, so manic's only the high side. What was that also considered the extreme lows as well, or is that a different word?
That is a different word.
Okay.
So that would be depression. Depression is
Oh,
the opposite of mania.
gotcha. Okay. Just make sure I got it correct.
Mhm. You did wonderful. All right.
Wow.
So let's go on to another slide. Just slide on
Slide it
over.
on over in stereo.
Delete. Ha, ha, ha.
How men typically display depression. Okay, versus women.
Which I thought it would be kind of fun. This comes from FHE Health. Again, a very good site to look at and Investigato. Oh, sorry, I'll read it. I pause.
No, you're good. Sorry. I was just like pulling up their website this way I could share. Boop.
You're good. So, in males more so than women, you'd see typical symptoms of alcohol or drug use,
Okay.
controlling abusive or violent behaviors. And again, please note, most everything in life comes in ranges. It's not black or white. There are more than 50 shades of gray.
Was that intentional? Because I am going to have to take a plane trip to slap you for that.
Oh, cool. I get to see my brother.
Goober. Continuing.
um, Irritability or inappropriate anger, risky behaviors, and risky behaviors ranges again from, you know,
Gambling, unprotected sex, jumping off cliffs without parachutes.
overspending,
That too.
and then lack of interest in things again, that can range from daily hobbies, activities, social interactions. And
Okay.
then they tend to have a physical component as well. They get racing heart, tightening of the chest, ongoing headaches, or it upsets their tummies. But that one also is kind of similar to women, but that shows how your mental struggles can develop into physical ones.
That makes sense. How again, the brain's controlling everything. So if the brain's unhappy, everything else is going to be happy, and vice versa. If your body's unhappy, your brain's going to be unhappy.
Hmm. It's a balance of life.
Long as it's not a circle.
Yeah, because you always get back to where you started. All right, we can mosey on to the next slide, my dear, which I think
Uh,
is 4 or 5.
we're on 5 already. We did
Look at
4.
that.
4 was 8. We're out of slides.
Oh, that's 5.
That was 5. You only sent me 5.
Oh,
What do you mean? Oh.
oh, I know. I went. Oh, I
Oh,
thought I had more in there.
I thought you said oh for a second. Like, did I miss something? Did I miss a memo? We had the meeting on Wednesday.
If you no, you're good. If you want to just slap on number 1 again until we switch topics, that'll work.
Okay,
That way,
yes,
in
ma'am.
case no one. Oh my gosh, you tell me to tell you, and then you're like, yes, ma'am, because it's like,
Just
you know
messing
what?
with you.
Screw it. Thank you. There we go.
So, since I shared about mine,
Oh,
have you
okay.
recently had a depression episode that you'd say on a scale of 1 to 10 was greater than 5?
Yes.
Let me rephrase my question. Are you willing to share that that experience with everyone, or you don't want to?
Oh, so okay, let's be honest. I've made my life around mental health and helping others with mental health, and I have the belief that sharing helps because
Okay.
it lets you know that you're not alone. It gives a perspective like, hey, I've been there too, kind of concept. So I'm all for sharing. There's
No
very
problem.
few things that I am not comfortable with.
But it's always a good to ask at least beforehand. This way, you don't put
Oh,
someone
of
on the
course.
spot and whatnot. So I'll
No,
even I'll always ask.
no, and I appreciate that, and I'm not discrediting that. It's just for our listeners to know. I'm for as much as possible. I'm kind of an open book now
Oh,
with
there's some
mental
stuff
health.
that's that behind
Yeah.
saying.
So keep in mind, in case our viewers do not know, I have been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, situational and social anxiety, as well as BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. So I have my fair share of crazy. Um,
Wow.
but as far, hey, again, you got to laugh about it or it just sinks you and takes you under.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So you'll find about, or that, I think that might be something that I've vastly made a big change for those who may have listened to us in the past to now, is that I've always been open about it, but now I've taken a semi humorous approach because I'm tired of feeling like a victim.
So
So
the humor makes you feel like you're in control.
yes, sir, it does. And that's kind of why I have it. Like I have a whole entire concept of like dark humor for mental health.
Oh,
So
don't get me started with dark humor. The SO loves dark humor, so
Hee hee.
uh
So yeah. So with that being stated, I go through bouts every so often of depression. Really quick, before we do that, if I can, because there's one aspect of the diagnosing concept and symptoms that I didn't get to say, and I meant to. Can we
okay.
just back? Thank you.
It's
I'm sorry.
you do what you want. I'm here for the ride. I'm
So
joking.
as
It's
we,
half and half.
no, you're good. So as we were talking about before about that range
Mm-hmm.
of severity, there's also versus so I don't think there's a technical, like clinical term for it or what's used in the medical field, but the way that I separate them is you have your situational depression, which is what, kind of what it says. You have something that you've dealt with in life and it's made you depressed. That could be like losing a loved one, issues at work, and you go through that little like mild depression stent, but normally it doesn't last terribly long. It's not super detrimental to your day-to-day living. And you normally recover without a quick back recap of it
Okay.
versus this one. So, one of the things that for diagnosing, according to the DSM-5, and I have to fix that name here in a moment because I just read that I had it wrong. It says that one must experience 5 or more of the symptoms that we covered tonight, as well as feeling depressed, loss of the most or majority of interest in something, for at least a minimum of a 2-week span. And I wanted to bring that up because if you're feeling depressed for a few days or a week and it's not impacting you and you're getting worried, there's usually nothing to worry about that unless it becomes a real big kind of habit or like a constant back and forth thing.
Super detrimental to your day to day.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Okay. Because I know you have listed here as well some statistical data, if I mean jargon that all for a hot second.
Go for it.
So 6.7 individuals are affected by depression yearly.
Mhm.
16.6 or 1 in every 6 experience it in their lifetime. Every stage of life is most commonly between late teens to early 20s, which I find interesting, if I may use your words.
Go for it. I like my
The
words.
fact that that's a very uh, words. Wow, I use your words and I completely forgot mine. The early stages of one developing oneself. So I think that's for me at least when I was that young, the whole who am I, what am I doing kind of thing. It's more susceptible to feel that depression when you're trying to discover yourself.
Actually, I mean, so I'm not saying that's wrong,
But
but I don't think it's what they're implying.
okay,
You have to keep in mind too, there's a lot of hormone changes in your body during that time
ah,
frame while you're coming into your adulthood.
that makes more sense. So everything's more in flux. So you're kind of just trying to
Hmm.
find your balance. Okay,
And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure there are people who struggle with it, and that's where we get our identity disorders and other aspects that, is people who have conflict. I mean, look at BPD, borderline personality disorder. That's conflict for life. You don't know who the hell you are.
fair
You're
enough.
always trying different things. So the reason that that's your onset or your more commonality of it, there's a lot going on for people in that ages or in that age range. You're still going to school. Most people are either going to school full time and have a part time job, going to school full time, getting, set up for a future career or education.
Most people are
They're
leaving
living
their families or such of that
or
nature.
still at home, but have like more of a mature,
Outlook of life.
independent,
Yeah.
independent outlook in life. So, you're feeling bogged down from your parents.
Okay.
Um, again the hormone influctuation just with growing into your adult brain into your everything's hormonal,
That is a
teenagers
lot
into
in up in the air. So yeah, I could see that. Okay, that
yeah.
makes more
So that's
sense.
yeah, that's what that's mostly referring to.
Let's see. Women on average are more affected by depression. Studies: 1/3 of women will experience major cases of depression within their lifetime. Um,
Which is interesting too, because they also have a thought process, and there's actually a category of depression under it too, that the women's menstruation is part of that influence.
okay. 40% sufferers have a hereditary. Her- oh, that's a big word.
Hereditary.
Yeah, sure. We'll use that. That's what the word. You all.
Oh, heritability,
There we go.
meaning that they're able to inherit it from, or genetically spread or inherit it from.
Gotcha.
um
From
yep.
family and genetics. Gotcha.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah.
just one word that my mouth was like, nope, we're not going to do this. uh, okay.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's what we were talking about before. Remember when I said that, when you have it, if you're genetically dispositioned to, or
yeah.
whoa, yeah, that's it's so it's 40% higher chance if someone in your immediate family has it.
Gotcha. And that's just sad. Is like, not even the fact that like it's you, it's just like, oh, well, my parents did it. Now I have to do it kind of deal.
Oh, it's not have to, because
Okay, not
again,
have to, but more disposition to.
yeah, and it's only a high probability. It's not a guarantee either.
Okay, that's a little bit more reassuring.
Yeah, but you're screwed.
God damn. Damn, Serena.
I'm honest, brutal to the point.
Apparently. I thought I was bad.
Hey, when I know something, I'm confident in it.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay. So let's see here. The next couple of things are the different, according to this, these 7 different types of the depression, which we've,
Yeah, I
go ahead.
sorry, because I feel like you're gonna say it. I want to hear you first.
Okay. Which we've touched and talked about previously already. So kind of want to just, say these and get move on to the next thing since we've already talked about a majority of these, quite frankly. Was
I'm
that
very
what you're going to
thorough.
say?
No, no, because I forgot we were gonna cover that in this. So when you wanted to put your initial name for this tonight's show,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Behind the scenes stuff.
sorry.
No, no, you're good. So we'll just go over. So there's the MDD that you started off with, which is the major depression disorder. And then
Which is the biggest one and the umbrella of all of this, if you will.
gotcha. So it's like the big typecast of it.
Yes.
And then you have the persistent depression disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then we have the bipolar disorder, which you talked about already.
Yeah.
Postpartum depression, baby
Mm-hmm.
blues, stuff of that nature. Then you were just talking about the premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Yep.
And then there's the seasonal affective disorder, SAD, which I think is someone had way too much fun putting that acronym together.
I believe so too.
Triggered by circadian rhythms, which I've started looking into circadian rhythms, and it's a very fun topic to fiddle with.
It is. What did you learn? I'm sorry, or do you want to leave that for next time?
The basic of is the whole sleep pattern, seasons, and whatnot. Like
Mhm.
I'm trying to see if I could almost predict what my future moods or dispositions will be, and I'm having a little fun calculating that.
It can be, especially, if you know what your triggers are, what influences you, and a baseline like journaling. Journaling is a wonderful thing.
I need to start doing that.
I'll have to tell you later about a journal I got. Keep going.
And then the last one is atypical depression.
It basically means you're feeling depressed, but you don't fit into any of the other stuff.
Which could be for any character. It's like, oh, this is happening. Why? I don't know. Well, does it seem like anything else? Are you sure it's this? Yeah, maybe.
And and that's one of the things too. So when you're looking at especially mental health disorders, there's a lot of like shared symptoms amongst multiple different things. So it's easy to think an individual may have one thing when it's really something else, and or they're experiencing something and it's either not a name of it or they're not expressing it enough, so they're not counted as like it gets jumbledy.
Well, a lot of crossover, and this again too. Like we said, there's more and more research always going on, so more stuff is being discovered. So what we thought was A is now A, B, and C. Um,
Mhm.
so it's again, it's a world of discovery, and it's just finding those crossovers and finding the nuances to separate them and to better categorize, and then to also better help individuals.
I totally agree with that.
Woohoo! Uh, well, I
I don't know
think.
how much more you want to read down there.
Oh, let's see. Well, treatment options, of course, talk to your doctors, talk to your trained professionals. Again, we're not trained professionals. We're here just to let you know you're not alone. There's a place to talk about and to help you get resources that you probably didn't know or didn't look into existing. So, again, we want to be helpful, but we're not the help that you should go to if you actually need it.
And because Serena's over here twitching just ever so slightly with them.
Yes, Serena, please correct.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you really?
Depending upon your, I am, because it's either way, depending upon your level and what's triggering you, running to a doctor or a psychologist isn't always necessary. And sometimes speaking to somebody can work. If you are having extreme to moderate to extreme symptoms, yes, you need to see a doctor.
Oh, I
If
didn't
it's
say go
affecting you.
directly. I'm just saying that, those are the options. I'm just saying,
But
talking to someone, opening up is the first
opening
step, yes.
yes, and then that could be to anybody who's willing to listen and capable of listening.
Right. That's the other thing too. They
That's
have to be capable of listening.
yes. So just wanted to point out that because, you know, for from my area of understanding, most individuals will suffer before going to a professional. My aspect is talk to someone you know, trust, and is open and willing to listen at the very least. And that's all I wanted to or clarify and
No, no,
kind of
you're
edit
good.
in what you
That
said.
makes sense. I mean, a clarification is always nice. But yeah, I'm not
Eh,
saying don't go see medical help or don't jump to medical
Oh,
help.
yeah.
Always evaluate, but it's just, we're not the
When it's
professionals
needed.
we're not looking for.
Yeah.
Wave hand Jedi motion thingy. Bad joke. Moving on.
I got it now with that aspect though.
Yay.
The waving hand.
uh okay. I think that covers the
So
majority of what we wanted to, unless there's anything else you wanted to add on.
just going to expand a little bit on that treatment concept if
I'll
you're
go
good.
for it.
So as Orm was saying, yes, when you have you believe you have a actual, condition, whether your depression is just taking longer, you're having a hard time getting out of it, or your what do you call it? It's impacting your day-to-day life. Definitely want to go see a doctor. And when you see a doctor, one of the things that you're going to be presented with is, again, this is highly dependent on your range of condition. So it could be just one of those go talk with someone, kind of talk it out, work out, learn some coping mechanisms, kind of reevaluate yourself, see what started it, and then you can overcome it and for lack of a tasteful way of saying it, move on. I can't think of a better way, so I apologize for that.
No, move on seems
Um,
apropos of it. It's just you don't dwell upon it. It's not becoming all encompassing.
exactly. Thank you. So then in your more moderate cases, you'll speak with somebody, a counselor or a therapist at this point. They'll might prescribe you antidepressants if you're not bipolar, because you can't have that if you're bipolar. To kind of help bring your hormones, those chemicals that we were talking about beforehand, those brain chemistry
Serotonin and
ones, dopamine.
thank you. Couldn't think of the other one.
You're good. So those antidepressants, what their purpose is to kind of bring those back into a normal balance, which makes when you're talking and trying to overcome what you're going through easier to do. And
It's
I bring that up. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's best and easier to communicate when you are in a relaxed state versus being we call it, for lack of a better term, not yourself.
Correct. 100% correct. And I bring that up and I kind of stress it because I know there is a good portion of individuals who don't feel comfortable or feel like once you get on it you can't get off of it, and just it's not true. It was a fear of mine too in the beginning, so I kind of relate to it a little bit. It's only as needed. You're not going to be on it for life unless of course you need it, and sometimes that's the case, but it's very rarely the case.
So you're
And
thinking like
then
people see it as a crutch and it's a
yeah,
permanent thing, Where for some people it might be just because they need it, and there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. But it's a
exactly.
tool to get you where you need to go.
Exactly. Exactly, and beautifully stated.
Yay!
And then, because again, Serena's a nerd.
You're really leaning heavy into it. I meant that as joking, and you're just running with it now.
I am. I've actually I accept it.
Well, if you're a nerd,
I
I'm a
wear.
geek.
Hey, we're good with that. You're a geek. I can bring that every so often. So, and only because I recently learned about this, and I think it's cool in a weird way, and I nerded out to Orem and his significant other about this already. But for your extreme cases that are not responsive to medicine, that's not responsive to psychotherapy, one-on-one therapy, or what have you, there is a different medical procedure that can happen. And Orem, I'm going to share this with you because I thought this was in the notes and it is not.
Well, you're not sharing with
So,
just me. You're sharing with everybody.
well, I'm going to not read this verbatim, but I'm giving you the text.
Oh,
Sorry.
holy sugar! Where'd you get this from?
It's in my actual notes on the side. I have my own
Oh,
personal
cool.
notes.
I'm not copying and pasting that, FYI. So
I
verbatim
didn't
that
think you
away.
were. Oh, I don't want to verbatim it, but that way, if you wanted to kind of jump in with something, you can.
Oh, cool. All right.
So, for the more extreme cases that it's unresponsive to previous treatments, they have developed three other treatment options that have been FDA approved. I believe the varies. Oh, the last one, the one I'm about to, or the third one, is was FDA approved in 2005. So the
Okay.
first one is ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, and it is an outpatient procedure. Um, Ultimately, what it's doing, it is, and all of these, what they do to one capacity or another, is trigger in the body safely in a controlled fashion a seizure. So we have electroconvulsive therapy, ECT. The second one is repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, or RTMS. And the third one is the vagus nerve stimulation, which is VNS.
Which
And
requires an
all of these,
overnight hospitalization from the reading.
yes, and that one, so that one, like I said, that was approved for MDD, major depressive disorder, in 2005 by the FDA because it was showing positive results with people who were not responding to other treatment forms.
So from
That was,
the, go ahead.
no, please continue.
No, no, finish your sentence.
Of that one, and most of these actually, these are standard treatments that are provided for people with certain types of seizures.
Okay. So from my reading of this quickly, it's basically doing is instead of chemically stimulating the areas of the brain that release those chemicals, it's manually or electrically stimulating those areas. Sort of like in the same vein, if you will, like a pacemaker, how it helps to stimulate the heart to keep a normal rhythm. It's stimulating those areas of the brain to release those chemicals to stabilize.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Now it's interesting because one of our
Chatters.
viewers, chatters, stated that they were under the impression a few years ago ECT, which is the first one, was discontinued, and that'll be interesting. I'm gonna research that real quick,
Yeah,
or if
definitely.
you can take
Oh,
the floor.
yeah, I can take the floor. So I know when you first talked about this, my initial response was, "Oh, that's electroshocking the brain." But this seems to
Mm-hmm.
be not just the negative connotation, if you will, of that. It's more of a controlled. It's not for lack of a better term, dubious purposes. It's actually something that shows and proven to be good. Now, personally, my
Correct.
thing is, I rather if I had to go get help, I'd rather take medication versus having them put stuff in my brain to go zip zap. And I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm just trying to be a little lighthearted, if you will.
Yeah.
But if it's a extreme case where the medication and nothing else is working, it's better to have something than nothing, if you will.
Exactly. And that's kind of the thing. It's the worst case scenarios. It's really impacting somebody's life
Oh
and
yeah,
nothing else is working.
yeah, because this all seems to be like there is something. All right, so the first one's invasive because it lists the small electrical current being passed to the person's brain. Second one says it's non-invasive, required the process coil placed near the patient's scalp to liver. Okay, so like for lack of a better term, if I may be a little insensitive, you're Tesla coiling the person's cranium.
Yes.
Again, that's just me being a little insensitive, but that's the general
But it's
idea.
ultimately what it is.
Yeah, but and again,
Well,
more controlled and
yeah.
such.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the more invasive, and basically that's again that is an implanted device into the neck. So it's hitting the Vargus nerve, however it's pronounced.
Vegas.
Thank you.
Mhm.
When I hear Vegas, I think different spelling, but moving on. Um,
So it was,
oh,
yeah.
the
Sorry,
tra-
I was about to talk about that. So
sorry.
now, no, you're good. Based on what I was reading, and this happened in about 2020, there was a thought to not ban it, to ban it in the U.S. And I can kind of figure, I can make an assumption of why they did that. But they wanted to talk about banning it, but the problem is that it has proven to work. And I think, and this is presumptuous of me, so please note I could be wrong. One of two reasons is why people are trying to advocate banning of it. Because they may view it as electroshock therapy, which is actually its own thing
Yeah,
and significantly different.
because that was the first thing
And
I thought of when you brought up to me. Looked like you sneezed
mhm,
for a second.
I was gonna cough, so I moved my head over, but then I didn't have to.
The avatar picked it up perfectly. Cool.
Creepy.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of it. But yeah, that was my first interpretation of it. It was like electroshock therapy, and then once you say that, depending upon what circles you run in, there's a heavy, heavy negative connotation to it. So I can
Hmm.
understand like people want being against that. So I guess it was a very big uphill battle for them to prove this was working.
It was. And again, and as I was even doing research, it was also apparently or is not also was, but is commonly a treatment for schizophrenia.
Oh,
So there's multiple aspects to it. But again, I hate to say this because it sounds not nice, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people voting for or against aspects in government and out that aren't fully understanding what they're voting for or against.
ooh,
Um,
yeah, we're towing a line there, and I
yep.
understand where you're going from because I know personally for me, and this is my thing, and if you agree or disagree, that is your personal opinion. I don't like talking about sports, religion, or politics because whole bananas those are hot topics, and I want to stay in the medical field, if you will. And I understand like those affect the medical field. You have, like you just said, people who are
Not verse in the situation.
or refuse to be versed, if you will.
See, I wasn't going extreme, but yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I mean, let's just toe that
Yeah.
line slightly. Who refuse to be versed in the subject, that making decisions about stuff that they theoretically should take the time to investigate and whatnot. But, whew,
No, and I agree. And that's all I was gonna kind of cover is that, when you have individuals that aren't 100% knowledgeable or as Orem pointed out, don't care to be knowledgeable, you have things that come up and try to sway one way or the other for right or wrong or whatever or what have you, and that's where you get things like that. And that's the only thing that I could think of may have happened, or um you could have also had some bad experiences, and
mm-hmm.
so that could also have prompted again, and this is me 100% presumptuous. I could be 100% wrong.
I feel like this should be go into a Google deep dive, if you will, and take a look into like what the court cases and all the other findings, all that fun stuff was.
But I thought we weren't supposed to do it.
Well,
You're
not live. No, we can do that.
Oh, okay.
You want to
Oh,
do it
I
as
already planned on
homework?
that.
That's not. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, if you want to do it for
I
homework,
do
you're
that
welcome
for
to.
luxury because I like just being informed.
I don't mind being informed, but I'm also very lazy. Like I am a very lazy, efficient worker, and it's very weird. Like
You're stuck used to it.
people come to me to work is like they don't want to do something. They ask me how can you get this done as quick as possible and as efficient as possible.
There you go.
But yeah,
I,
so
I'm just a procrastinator.
fair enough. I think that covers a majority of that list. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think we got everything pretty much covered now. Does anyone here have any questions? And Twill, do tell more.
Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, if share some stories, if you have any stories, if you have any questions, we'll happily,
Oh,
answer stuff. Yes? What? Yes?
so so did we want to talk about like my whole depression thing? Because I did
Yeah.
backtrack and I forgot about it. What was the whole thing? Like my last one, just in general? Like what did you want to
So
know specifically? Exactly.
So I explained about my month long one, and all that stuff. So if you're willing to share, what was one of your more recent ones? Let's go with that. If you want to share.
So my more recent one was, and how it normally works for me is that I will experience the symptoms before I realize what's going on. And I'll just feel really fatigued. I want to lay down. I want to do stuff. I know I have to do stuff, but I just
Don't have the drive to
don't
do
do
so.
stuff. Exactly. That's that first, what do you call it? Symptom over there. But
Hmm.
so more recently, with the whole perspective of my birthday coming up, um about a week beforehand, I started going into a depressive mode and my BPD kicked up. It
Oh
was
boy.
fun. Yeah. And so I was laying down because I felt like crap. I was ruminating in my head over all the stuff that I was fretting about with my birthday, the whole concept of getting older and what that indicates and blah blah blah
Happens to the
blah.
best of us getting older part, but yes.
Exactly. And then I would, I actually, I still don't know if I actually got sick from it or if I just happened to also get a little bit of a stomach issue from it or from something else and it just coincided it. So then I have a physical component, I have a mental component, and then when I'm kind of out for like a day or two, I start to feel guilty that I'm not
Uh
doing stuff because again, I have 3 kids, I homeschool them,
you have a house, you
currently I'm
take
out of
care of animals and all the other stuff.
exactly.
You have a
So
laundry list of stuff to do.
yeah, so it's one of those if I can get up, I should be getting up kind of concept. So I'll start to really dig in home on myself and I'll start to perpetuate this feeling of low worthlessness, guilt and yeah. So that was my most recent one. But I do battle with depression often and it is intensified by the BPD, so is the anxiety. And it's always fun to play which one's causing which.
Hmm. So let me ask you this, because
Mhm.
for poops and loops, if you will,
Sure.
how is your audio stimuli to your anxiety?
That is a very interesting way of saying that, but I think you're asking how do I respond to noises when I'm anxious?
Well, basically, do you get overwhelmed with loud crowds, loud noises, stuff of that nature?
Okay, so my anxiety is kind of fun, and I say this completely
Sarcastically.
sarcastically. Okay. But I have a multitude of components. Again, I was diagnosed with 2 types, social and situational. So what it means that is certain situations I just become anxious. There's generally no rhyme or reason for it. And again, I think that one really is my BPD. I don't know yet. Um, and the other one is social. I the whole aspect of not knowing how someone else is going to respond. And this ties also back to the BPD because I have a slight control issue and it's not I want to control people in a negative way, but I want to control the outcomes of what happens. I want to kind of guide them in the direction that I feel is the safest or most enjoyed by the people around me and not necessarily myself.
So
But
it's sort of
anyway,
like it doesn't go your way, it starts triggering.
no, it's actually not necessarily that.
Okay.
Because let's say, because so when that implies like, oh, I want a piece of candy, and this is very juvenile concept, but I want a piece of candy. I'm told no, and I have a temper tantrum. That's actually not what it is. Um, it's one of those. I see that this person is feeling upset, so I'm going to manipulate as much as I can, physically take control of, to ensure that this person doesn't feel that way.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now.
Yeah. Cuz a lot of my stuff is more outward influenced than inward because again, and I don't know, it's probably the BPD, I put myself in low care, high standards.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, when it comes to my anxiety in general, I don't like being around people in person because there's too many things that I can't predict or safeguard against or
So it's the uncertainty of what's going to happen. Gotcha.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when it comes with, with other people. On average, I don't feel comfortable around people and this has been something I've dealt with my whole life. It's worse with men than with women. Um, and I just yeah. Other situations is large crowds, and it's again, there's that uncertainty. I don't like large crowds because in the event that something happens, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, so it's not
So it's like,
audio triggering, like too much noises make you frazzled or anything like that.
no, but that is too. I said I have it in many capacities.
Oh, okay, I'm just
So
asking.
I have what's known as overstimulation, or that sounds wrong. Basically, in these situations when I'm experiencing this particular thing, is either too much is going on and triggers me to feel overwhelmed, which makes me anxious and I feel like I have to make it stop or I have to leave,
Okay,
or I feel anxious and noises get to me and feeling overwhelmed and stuff like that.
gotcha. Okay,
I had to take it all. I couldn't just have one. Duh.
greedy, greedy.
Exactly. So that's kind of how my anxieties work. And again, I have so many different things that causes anxiety and it changes. And I think that component is due to the BPD because of that uncertainty aspect that comes with that.
Gotcha. As I try to nod and my person's having his, the avatar is not working right. Up and then down. Nope, up and down. Close enough. All right.
But yeah, you. Any other questions?
I think I'm good. Chat's been kind of quiet. I think they're enjoying just listening to us chat and share
Hi.
information. So I'm okay with them lurking. I'm okay with them hanging out with us and just soaking in the information that we have to share.
And I'm sorry if I'm info dumping.
No, it's all good. That's the whole point of the show, to inform, to help. But I think
Okay.
I'm gonna go slide into kind words if you'd want to.
I think we are more than welcome, or more than welcome. More, yes, sir.
I am more than welcomed. That sounds like a bad medical condition. You are more than welcomed. All right, so let's get this going and see here. Bump. And give me a second here. Serena, entertaining. Well, there it goes. Okay, it didn't transition.
I wave to everyone. Wave again.
Uh,
Hello,
I
everyone.
need to
I'm
edit that
Serena.
because my lower body is not working.
Sorry, I'll just keep waving. I think it's entertaining to wave.
You would.
I am very easygoing.
Easily entertained, I think was the word you were looking for.
A two.
Eh. Oh, what? Look down a little.
Time
That
words,
works.
lo-fi chill beats to write to. Dun, dun,
There we go.
dun,
All right, so that's
dun.
showing. Okay, that's working. Audio is being picked up. Yep. Let me know if it's
It
too
looks
loud
like
or not loud.
Twilight's flying.
Oh, that's the other thing I need to adjust. Thank you. I need to switch that
You're
to
welcome.
game versus the desk. Sorry. I wish I need to
Well,
figure out. That's all right. Let's continue. And I think on this note, give me a second here.
it's the deer. Oh dear, it's the
Let's
deer.
see here. What am I looking for? There we go. To make it easy on your life, there you go.
That freaked me out.
And we got a new sticker.
Okay. Sorry, I got panicky there. I didn't know that was coming from my headset or my computer.
No, you're good. So I said that you should be able to see my screen now.
Oh, that's why I hear it.
Yes, that's the point. Because it makes it
Hey.
easier so you don't have to relay. And surprisingly enough, knock on wood, no drop frames and great connection and all that other fun stuff. So yay, this computer can handle it.
Go, computer, go.
Right. So what type of
All right.
sticker do we get, Serena?
We got a trouser. We got a trouser fish.
Good.
He would very. You what?
I said good. I didn't want to mispronounce it. Thank you.
You're welcome. He would very much appreciate it if you turned the radio on and left it alone.
Good for
That's
them. Alrighty. So it's been a hot minute. Let's see. We got that still disturbs me a bit.
funny. Hi, I'm here. Quiet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna read this one if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So our request was. I'll read the request if you want to read the reply.
Oh, yes, please.
So our request, I've been very frantic with the new show that I'm working on, hosting and running. All the IT stuff is a lot. But I know I can handle it. Just sometimes I need to hear it. I think someone already did reply to us. There's next. Yeah, sounds like you're doing an amazing job. Takes a lot of dedication. Blah blah blah. So this is a new one. So why?
Oh, cool.
Because I could have sworn. Huh? Did multiple people respond?
Apparently.
Neat. Here, let's open this one up. Ooh, new sticker.
Super Mega Ultraman, the ultimate robot hero. Robo hero. It says, I'm sure you're doing great. Give your best and enjoy it, and everyone will love it. Good luck.
From L.
From L.
Yeah. All right. Who do we? What sticker do you want to send back as a thank you to them?
Bunny.
The bunny. I'll send the bunny. Sending your thanks now. Done. I'll bet they love the sticker.
Dave.
All right, let's go back. So, Serena.
Airplane.
Where's it? Where?
Oh.
Do we want to click on it or are we sending one? I need information.
Send one. Oh, click it.
Okay.
Only when I stopped running did I realize that the rush I had was not mine. Ooh.
Okay. I'm not sure I get that.
Only when I stopped running.
Only when I stopped realizing the rush I had wasn't mine. I guess they got a rush from someone else?
Yeah, but what are they running for? Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Because that can have a very, ominous...
They're running from
meaning.
the T-Rex.
Okay, that's just playful.
That's what I was aiming for. No, don't go there. No, there we go. Sorry. All right. So, let's see. Do we want to make a request or do we want to answer a request first?
Let's answer first.
All right. So let's say view request. Let's see what's on the chopping block.
Can I just read? I feel like reading.
Go for it.
Thank you. To any Indonesian using working... Okay, that's not going to help us.
All right,
I wouldn't know how to respond to that. Should I continue?
Let's skip that one.
Okay. Okay. Wow. It's almost like reading my own letter. Let's see what it says. I'm coming.
Wait, hey, hold up a second. Hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute. What?
Put a little love in it. All right, read.
I'm coming up on 35 and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina 1 year ago. I'm autistic and the change has been a lot. I haven't touched another human being since November of 2023.
Oh my.
Sorry.
I
don't know how to put myself out there right now due to burnout and health issues. We can reply to that.
You want to reply to that one? It's from A. Okay.
Hey, look, it's from A. It was funny.
You know, just for the record, not to give too information away, it just for Serena, A represents a lot.
It does.
All right, so Serena, I'm gonna let you feel this one wholeheartedly because I feel like it's in 100% your ballpark.
Okay. Orim, we're gonna do something different today. Which actually, I think we used to do this in the past, so we'll roll with it.
Okay.
Hello, A. I completely understand a lot of what you feel. Moving, and let's change that. Change can be
Sorry, hold a second. I put LOL stuff a lot.
Hold on, I'm typing. Wait, maybe, I don't know. Look, I don't know what to do now.
Continue what you're doing.
If you follow along, you're doing great then. Because I have to do it this way. Change can be very hard on anyone. But the fear of getting out there could be much worse. Start small. Find something somewhere local to get the feel of being with others again. Spark up a conversation. I'm sorry, I'm typing too. Spark up a conversation. A random hello. Something to... What's the word I want to use? Spark up a conversation. A random hello. Something to...
I can't spell.
Initiate. human interactions. Using that
Okay.
phrasing, of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Give me
It's
a
okay.
second.
If you can't spell initiate, I'm not sure either. Initiate.
Okay, I got. Don't worry about initiation.
Initiation or initiate?
Skip it. Move on.
Moving on. Spark up a conversation, a random hello, something to initiate human interactions. Oh crap! Lost my train of thought. One
Sorry.
second.
You're good.
No, it's fine. Start small, find somewhere local to go, and get the
I'm
feel of being
heavily
with others.
paraphrasing, just FYI.
That's cool. Of others again. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought I was in something else. It's fine. Start with something to initiate human interaction. But don't let fear stop you. Welcome to North Carolina. I live here too.
Well, let's not do that.
Oh, you're not allowed to share location? Well, they did.
Well, they shared where they are, but let's
I'm not getting more detail.
Yes.
Enjoy your new state. It's quite beautiful here. How's that? Sorry.
Scenery. Spell that for me, please.
Oh, okay. S-E or S-C-E-R-E-N-A-R-Y?
E-R-N-E-Y. Scenery. Oh, I wish they had a spell checker. They do have a copy and paste. That's amazing.
Well, they do. Hold on. I can definitely get it for you. Keep going. We'll
Okay.
edit it later.
They don't have a spell checker, but enjoy the wonderful scenery. I probably spelled that wrong.
You did, but I don't know how to spell it, so I'm trying to open up a tab so I can get it to you since you could copy and paste. Or I could tell you. It'll be faster.
Got it.
S-C-E.
Got it.
Like you're done, or you're telling me that's what you have?
I already copy pasted, corrected, and everything else.
Okay. See, I don't get on this very often. I don't have two screens. I'm so jelly.
Okay, so you want me to read what I write since it was paraphrasing a lot and I can only type so
I
fast?
don't, because I promise you I may get like...
Nope, I'm just going to read it to you now.
Go ahead.
Hello, A. I completely understand a lot of what you are feeling. Change can, there we go. That's the other reason I want to read it out too, is correct. Change can be very hard on anyone, but the fear, without the J, of getting out there could be much worse. Start small and find somewhere local to get the feel of your new surroundings and others. Spark up a conversation, try a random hello or a friendly greeting to start interacting with others. Welcome to North Carolina or NC. Enjoy the wonderful serenity and know there are others in the same boat. I like the word boat, B-O-A, boat, as you.
I like it. However,
Yes.
just point. No, I like it. Thumbs up.
But you said however and then just. I like it, but.
I'm sorry.
No, it's nothing. That's the point. I wanted to read it to you. This way you could tweak it. Because I can only type so fast and only certain words stick in the brain of how to spell.
You're good. You have with others twice.
Where?
And it's legitimate. Okay. So, start somewhere local and get to know your surroundings with and others. Spark up a conversation, something with others.
Oh, with others, with others? Okay.
Yeah. So.
With people.
There you go. Perfect. You did it.
Okay.
Oh, and thumbs up. The thumbs up on the Mega Man or something.
Huh?
Oh, it's not my turn to pick the sticker.
Oh, sticker. Add sticker. Thank you. I'm like, thumbs up. I was about to type thumbs up. I need context, please. The new sticker. Okay.
I like that one.
Send?
Yes.
Sent. Thank you for taking the time to think about a stranger. I'll rush this right over. I knew you'd keep writing, people. I'm sure they'll love this. Oh, hey, I discovered mid-century this morning. A little late, but okay. I was a bit stressed about some things. I put this on loop and washed it all away. Hopefully I'll have another sweet track for you tomorrow. All right, so let's get out of this since we already did this. Granted, I don't understand what that word is.
I think I'm Acrace and
Oh, Arrow Ace. Okay, gotcha. Now I understand. Never mind. I was trying to mispronounce that. I'm like, a Roche? I was like, nope. Okay. All right. So now for our request, what's been going on that you want to write about, Serena?
well, see, the one I was going to talk about was kind of started with the other one, but now I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I'm trying to think. Let's see.
Okay. Well, if any of our fuzzles have anything they want to send out, either in a
Oh.
airplane or if they have something they want to send out for them, we're more than welcome to.
That'd be awesome if someone wanted to try that. I don't know. My dogs are.
Do the impossible, see the invisible, row, row, fight the power. I feel like that's from an anime.
Yeah. Oh.
Remember, every day to smile and bring that positive energy to yourself and everyone around you. That's the one I wrote! Holy crap, it came back to us. Yes!
Full circle. Oh, we said that earlier. Oh my god, we're in a circle.
All these squares make a circle.
Yeah.
If you know what that reference is, you're about as old as me then.
I don't. Because my mind goes circle, circles, dot, dot. Now I got my cootie shot.
Well, that's even older. Wow. Alright, so let's make a request then.
Okay, so request.
Yes. Is there anything that you want to share or not?
Yeah, I figured I'd just share something different. Because I was going to bring up the fact that I was struggling with my birthday and turning 35.
Wait, legitly 35? Don't answer that. We'll do it later. Do it later. Sorry. My brain has done. Leave me be.
It's cool. It's cool. Oh, I'm sorry. It would be funny right now, but it's inappropriate. All right. So I have discovered, you could paraphrase this, but I have discovered new aspects of myself that I am trying to overcome. And it's the most difficult yet. I almost fell out of my chair.
Don't do that.
I forgot that it was broken. I went to lean back.
You want to say negative aspects?
What did I say originally?
New aspects. You wouldn't want to overcome something that's positive, so...
But wouldn't the implication be that it's new? Or negative?
I like to be blunt sometimes. That and also sets the tone of that.
But what if I don't find it negative?
Then why are you trying to overcome it then?
Because it's improper. It has effects
Hindering?
that are not hindering.
Let me see if I spelt that right.
Hindering.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. That one I knew. You get big like scenery out there. I don't know.
Okay. Is that the end of it?
Yes. Or not a process. I mean, it has been a process. That's not what I said. What did I say originally?
I don't know. I was paraphrasing.
Damn it. I spoke too fast.
Someone rewind the video for a couple of seconds and get her what she said.
Serena forgets so much. It's sad. And I'm struggling. No? I mentioned something about struggling.
I am struggling to get them under control.
I think that will suffice.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. Sending away. Yeet. Yes, please.
Oh, if I'm
Serena,
reading it out
you're
loud,
reading.
it's too tiny.
It's too tiny?
Yeah, I can't. For some reason, my screen got messed up, so I can't see the chat if I have it on full screen.
Okay, so you can't see. Okay, you wrote a request. I run this right over to the post office to be copied and sent all over the world. Everyone's going to see it, Serena. All set. May take a little time for people to reply. They may even send you a sticker. In the meantime, write someone else a letter.
For the record, if my avatar looked like it was just going forward, that was me getting closer to the screen to see what was Orim writing before.
See, I don't think mine does the forward and back. I think the head moves and that's about it.
I don't know what mine does. I'm just happy I'm not twitching or just staring in one side again.
All right, so let's close this out with, do we have anything positive that we want to throw out on an airplane before we call it a good evening?
Never give up.
Never give up. Never, SUREND, surrender. Never give up, never surrender.
Take control. Don't be a blender. Oh, what Dr. Seuss. Or take control. Don't have a blunder.
Take control, do not let life end up in a blender.
Oh, there you go. We went poetic.
There we go. Never give up, never surrender. Take control. Do not let life end up in a blender. Ah, fudge it. I'm sending it. Good. Yeet. Folding paper. Preparing to take off. Your good vibes are now flying through the air for everyone else to catch. Now let's see if we can see that next week as well. Or not next week, 2 weeks from now. That would be amazing if we get to see that on the airplane again.
Oh, like we did this week?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay, so let's slide back over to our desk. Slip.
Moving on over. Oh, okay. So if we're doing that.
And where is their screensavers? How do I just, oh, title. I always figure out how to end this thing instead of just hitting the button quit. There we go. All right. Okay. Okay.
How's it going?
Good. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. I realized when you didn't respond, you might have still been doing that.
You're good.
Or is there anything else you would like to add for tonight?
I think we're good. It was fun getting back into the whole topic. It was fun to discuss and to just get back into the flow of things. I've honestly missed this. And this was our first big topic, and I feel like it was fun. Like, I've missed it.
I did too. It felt natural.
Yes. That's the best way to put it.
I have to concur. It felt really good. It felt natural. Thank you. And oh crap, train of thought just went phew, like the airplane that we just folded.
It's all good. I'm actually working on something while you're doing that, so you're good. Continue.
Oh, I just feel like I'm going to be redundant continuing.
No,
maybe that's what it is. I'm stuck on the redundancy. Serena's having a moment.
It's all good.
But yeah. But ultimately, it felt right. And that's what I was going to say. Having familiar faces back to, hopefully enjoying this, especially in its new reincarnation.
Yep.
It's really nice. Thank you, Orim, for doing this with me again.
No, I thank you for giving me the opportunity for you to be the brains, for me to be the tech. I want to thank all of our wonderful chatters for watching us. Definitely, as soon as everything's up, we'll have this up on YouTube. Check out our socials as per usual. But yeah, I think I'm happy with everything. You happy, Serena?
I am too. Thank you for our viewers who are watching. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you again. Until then, take it one day at a time. I know you'll make it through.
If you ever need to talk, there's always someone in your corner. Now, where's OBS?
Yeah, I try to mute my phone, my mic, whatever it's called.